Hey guys, Jared here, and it's been 6 months since I purchased my Nexus 6P smartphone, so let's take a look and find out if it's still worthwhile and have a look at the issues I've come across along the way. I first purchased the Nexus 6P in November 2015 and then released my video review in December 2015. The link to my full review is in the video description if you're interested. Since this time, I've identified some small issues that I've had along the way, which I wanted to address as these were not covered in my original review video. First off is the position of the rear camera. It's all perfectly fine taking photos in portrait mode, however I've found that when taking photos in landscape mode, it's extremely easy to cover the camera with my fingers or hand as the camera is right in the top corner. I didn't experience this problem with the Nexus 5X as the camera is centered a bit lower down. It's not too much of an issue as I'm more aware of it now, but when I quickly pull out the phone to take a quick snap, sometimes I'll end up with a finger in the corner of the image. In my full review, I also mentioned how I was concerned with the glass camera bump which covers the rear camera. I thought that putting it down too hard would result in it easily shattering, and there were some early reports of this online around the release of the 6P. I can report that this is definitely not the case for me. While in the beginning I did treat the whole phone like a sheet of glass, I have accidentally put it down very hard and dropped it on my desk a few times from a small distance, and the Gorilla Glass 4 has held up perfectly fine after 6 months. Next, I wanted to mention how the phone warms up while charging. In my original review, I specifically called out the fact that after charging from 1% to 100%, the phone was still cool and didn't warm up. However, over time, this has changed and is no longer correct. During charging now, the phone is noticeably warmer. I don't personally have much of an issue with this, as battery life is still as great as ever, and it cools down not long after unplugging. Finally, I wanted to mention the regular updates that the Nexus devices are known to receive. There have been regular updates, basically monthly, which is great to see. As someone that's very security conscious, I'm more than happy to update my phone to the latest updates available as soon as possible. However, I have found that this process can take around 20 to 30 minutes, despite the high-end hardware of the 6P. Nothing too bad, however it's worth noting so that you can set aside enough time to complete the update process. There's nothing worse than kicking off an update, thinking it'll be quick, and then you need to use your phone. I found all of these things to only be minor inconveniences rather than serious problems. Aside from these points, everything mentioned in my full review video still holds true. And for that reason, I still think that the Nexus 6P is worthwhile and a great smartphone 6 months on. Going into Q2 2016, it's still one of the top-end smartphones available. However, we're starting to see competition from other phones, such as the Samsung Galaxy S7, so watch this space. If any of you guys have found any issues with your Nexus 6P, be sure to let me know down in the comments, as I'm interested in seeing how others have held up so far. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos like this one.